Welcome back. CITV is 30 years old. And tonight we're celebrating 3 decades of unforgettable shows.
You just kind of wanted to be part of it, you know, you sort of almost wanted to jump in your telly and be with them.
I would be Sooty,
Yeah.
Cat would be Sue, and you would be Sweep.
Daisy.
Today, CITV entertains a new generation. With shocks and surprises. Here I am! And tons of tales.
There once was a pirate named Captain Blacktooth.
But it all began 30 years ago with the captain of a ship. No, not him. The 3rd of January 1983 saw one small step for Matthew Kelly.
Matthew to Mick. Come in, Mick.
One giant leap for children's television. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Well, of course, I was the very first to be launching children's ITV. What a pleasure and a privilege it was.
To boldly go where no man's hand has ever set foot. That's the mission of ITV Starship.
Every weekday, Matthew had proper stars in his eyes as he jumped in his spacecraft and welcomed millions of kids home from school.
The rocket ship set was bonkers. It's like sitting in a cupboard, really. It was tiny, and it had these ridiculous levers. I don't know what they were for.
Ooh, this is not a happy computer. There, now come on. Are you going to tell us what's on children's ITV tomorrow?
He even got the job of introducing his own shows.
You're dead.
You must be mad. About sailing, skiing, climbing, jumping out of planes. You must be mad. About boats and boats and boats and boots and...
This week, we're mad about cats. And what better way to start than with the big ones?
About getting things free when you can try, but it ain't no good when you could.
I had to go in with tigers, 4 grown tigers, with this 16-year-old tiger trainer.
I'm terrified now. Absolutely terrified.
That's never right. I had to swim with a killer whale. I did. I'm really glad they picked me to do it. It was a lovely thing to do and a lovely thing to have been part of.
Matthew survived dicing with death to have a whale of a time on Saturday night.
Time again, time for stars in the ride.
But he wasn't the only now familiar face joining in the fun and games.
King of the Jungle is Biggins!
Long before Biggins became King of the Jungle, he was already on safari.
Still to this day, I get people in their 40s and late 30s coming up to me and say, "Hello, Biggins, safari," and I have to go, "So goody."
Safari!
As well as a cracking catchphrase, On Safari brought us man-eating plants.
Oh! What's it like in there?
Horrible!
Oh, no.
Terrifying tiger traps.
Bananas and
And a perilous assault course. And like all good kids' shows, there was plenty of gunge.
The swamp was hideous. You used to go into the studio, and the first thing you were hit by was this unbelievably hideous smell. It was just vile. I really, really enjoyed doing On Safari. It was such fun. It was glorious. It was a great time. I think we should bring it back, don't you?
On Safari started a rumble in the jungle, and other game shows soon followed. There were space-age quizzes.
In which game is Eric Bristol correct?
Pumped-up party games.
It's an inflatable salt course, essentially, which would be so fun as an adult when drunk, but it was definitely for kids.
As we grew up, the playgrounds just got bigger and bigger.
It was one huge set. It cost like £1 million to build, which I think was the most expensive children's TV set at the time.
And when computer games were just starting out...
So enter, stranger,
To the castle of confusion.
You could play out your nightmares and fantasies with Dungeon Master Treguard. Ooh, scary.
I was a slightly menacing character to start with. A lot of the kids were scared to death of me.
Danger team, this is the lair of the dreaded car.
Forward again.
I loved Nightmare. I wanted to be on that show so badly I can't even tell you.
Okay, Daniel, left. Right.
Ooh, nasty.
But if the dungeons proved too dark, You can always let your hair down in the Funhouse!
It's outrageous!
Fat Sharp's mullet, wow. That should have had its own show.
Funhouse was bright, it was really colourful, and it really just signified that the weekend was here and you didn't have to do your homework that night. You could watch Funhouse, run home from school and put the telly on and there'd be this amazing colourful show.
Here's the Funhouse!
Former Radio 1 DJ Pat Sharp had the keys to the Funhouse.
Here are the Funnettes!
Oh yes, with some cheerleading twins.
As a child, I didn't care about the twins. I wasn't bothered about the twins. I want to go on the little go-karts, and I want to go on that massive car going to Endgame, where you get some great prizes. As soon as you grow up, you're like, hey, those twins are on.
Go-karts going around a studio. I mean, it was, it'd never been done before on kids' TV. It was a big show.
Go!
All I remember is headache. How do you control that whole scenario with the screaming children and the slides and the sponge and the...
Funhouse became the place to go on Friday afternoons in the 90s.
Pat, you did a grand job. Hat off.
Go! They're on their way!
Pat Sharp, legend.
I get people who actually say the following words to me, and they're really cool words for someone to say, and they are, "You made my childhood."
Yeah! But it wasn't just the kids having fun and games on CITV.
How?
If I had £1 for everyone that's come up to me and gone, how?
How can you balance a spoon on the end of your nose? Gaz, please try it. Carol, please try it.
It really is a programme which people remember. It's quite incredible.
Breathe on the inside of the bowl of the spoon to create some moisture, and then friction will do the rest for you. That is how.
You put something in YouTube now and you figure out how it is or how it works. This would do it on a weekly basis for you.
How quickly can you make ice cream? Well, in moments, providing you've got liquid nitrogen.
Fred Dinage and his team were never afraid of asking questions, no matter how bizarre.
How hard is the Tour de France?
How can a fish help you to relax?
How do you know when a spider is dead?
How can crisps keep you warm?
Young people have got this thirst for knowledge, this need to know how this works, how that happens.
How did the sucker make a comeback?
How to somehow made science fun.
Oh yeah, that's tingling.
Though I'm not sure Gaz Top would agree.
It's swelling up. I reckon he's had about 3 pints already.
That looks more ow than how.
Oh, I'm glad that's over.
Poor Gareth.
The kids didn't know they were kind of being taught things because it was disguised with a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, a lot of explosions, a lot of eggs. But beneath it all were serious messages and serious information. It really was an educational programme in a way.
How could you tip a bucket of water upside down without the water tipping out of it?
For Fred Dinage, how would prove a lifetime's work.
Oh, we got look at that. Not a drop spilled twice.
He'd been with the show through the 60s and 70s.
Before, one after the other. Here we go. Hey! Hey! Hey!
Fred was my hero. He was the guy I aspired to be. And I was very lucky I got to be in the second generation of that programme with my hero.
In 1990, CITV brought How back as How 2, but it would prove a difficult first show for Fred.
We just were going in to record the first how-to programme ever, and I got a phone call from my brother to say my dad had died. And I said, well, I must come home now. And he said, no, because he said, Dad loved How, and he would have loved to have seen you in How too. So stay there and do it. And Carol and Gareth were great to me. We got through the day, and the show worked. I'll never forget the very first How to we ever did because of that reason.
For nearly 200 shows, the How To team went to great lengths to teach us absolutely everything.
How can you reinvent the tandem?
We did ridiculous stuff on How. Wonderful. I've ridden a jet-powered skateboard. Yes. trashed half the studio when I got out of frame.
Gaz, top of the class.
Honestly, this was in the days before health and safety, thank goodness, because I'm not sure we'd be allowed now to do the things, certainly in the early days, that we did.
But How To wasn't all about big studio stunts.
How do you make a green-haired thingy?
A new generation sprouted up learning all sorts of tricks.
You'll need a pair of tights. Could I borrow your tights, please?
Okay.
I'd sit there on How To and How before it and think, I'm having such a lovely time and I'm being paid to do this. I can't believe it.
Following me so far?
Yeah.
It is complex.
Aren't I lucky? And I was.
You sort of bend a little shape, which will give you your nose.
Fred Dinage is the single reason that How To was so successful and ran for 16 years.
The grass seed will start to sprout.
I'm enormously proud of that, and Fred.
And that's how you make a green-haired thingy.
Coming next, the misspent youth of the Stars of Corrie.
I ain't dancing.
And the hand-drawn hero,
Danger Mouse, marvellous.
Oh, crumbs.
Love it.
who went down a bomb.
That's another successful mission over.
Red and yellow and...
Get ready for a brighter Saturday night.
I've grown 30 brand new prize-winning specimens.
With 30 brand new beautiful girls, a bounty of brand new boys,
Oh, wow!
and one master matchmaker.
Let the rabbit see the headlights.
Saturday night is date night. Join Paddy McGuinness for the brand new series Take Me Out next Saturday at 8:45 on ITV1.
Rhythm is a dancer, it's a soul's companion. People feel it everywhere. Lift your hands and voices, free your mind and join.